This is activity 25, the iodine clock. And it's kind of a special activity because it takes a little bit more effort and work to put it all together, but the kids will never forget it. They will see it many times in their future academic courses, but this is a nice introduction to something that's kind of exciting when you put it all together. It's a nice chemical reaction that we can do with easy to find materials. So let's take a look at what we need. We're going to need some spray starch, which you can get at any kind of grocery store. At the drugstore, you can get some hydrogen peroxide, just 3%. And you'll notice it's in a dark container because if hydrogen peroxide is exposed to light, it changes to water and gives off a gas. We need some vitamin C. We're using the 500 milligram tablets with no timed release or anything, just the plain ones. And then there's 5 plastic cups, and 3 of them are labeled ABC, and the other 2 are labeled 1 and 2. So there's a couple steps to this particular activity. But you've done 24 activities already, so you're in good shape for this one. We've got our measuring spoons, we've got our iodine, and we've got distilled water. We did say you could use tap water, but it depends on your water. If there's chlorine added to the water, that will be a problem with this reaction, so you need to use the distilled water. Again, probably at a drugstore, used for contact lenses and a variety of other things. And then they will also say you need a pen and some masking tape so that you can label your cups. And so with that, let's put our first 3 solutions together, solutions A, B, and C. Now that we've gone through all the materials that we need, let's put it together. So I'm going to put my glasses on for this one just to be safe. And I'm going to start with cup A, and in that one, I'm going to be putting in vitamin C. Now the book said 2 tablets of 1,000. We're just going to do a little bit less this time and just allow the reaction to go a little bit quicker. So I took 1 500 milligram tablet, put it in a plastic bag, and just took a rolling pin on my cutting board and just crushed it. And in doing that, I was able to get my vitamin C into cup A, and then I need to put in a 1/4 cup of water. So we'll add our 1/4 cup of water, and we'll put that in there, and that's cup A. Now we did use slightly warm water because that helps to stir and to dissolve the vitamin C, and it just makes things go a little bit faster. And then in cup B, I already have put in 5 mils of iodine that we have here. This one, remember that iodine, even though it says that it's poisonous, it is an antiseptic, so you can find it in the first aid area of most drug stores, but it does stain, and it stains kind of anything brown. So don't get it on your skin. It'll stain that way. If you'd like to use some kind of rubber gloves, you can do that as well there. But I was able to pour into the teaspoon and drop it into the B cup. And into that, I put a tablespoon of water. So I will do that. In this case, it's our distilled water because here we have a bit of chlorine in our water. And then finally, cup C, we have our liquid starch, of which I've put in 5 mils. And now I'm going to put in a tablespoon of water. And finally, the last thing we're going to put in there is a tablespoon of hydrogen peroxide. So I'll pour that in. And there we go. We've got our 3 cups of different solutions. We've got the vitamin C cup A, and then we've got the iodine in cup B, and then we've got the starch and hydrogen peroxide in cup C. So now we can go to our final step and take cups 1 and 2 and put this all together. So let's do that right now. Now we're ready for the final step before we do our iodine clock reaction. So from cup A, I'm going to take 1 teaspoon of vitamin C water and place that into cup 1. Then I'm going to take half a teaspoon of iodine and place that in. And notice how it disappears with the vitamin C. That's important when we're talking about how this reaction works. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of water into cup 1. So there's 1 tablespoon. And there's 2 tablespoons. So there's not a lot of materials for each of these. So when you buy everything, it's going to last for quite a while in terms of the number of times you want to do the reaction. And then finally into cup 2, we're going to take 2 tablespoons from C. And then once we've made these 2 solutions out of the 3 that we've had, we're just going to pour 1 into 2 and then 2 into 1 and watch what happens. And so I will take the 2, I'll pour 1 into 2 and then 2 into 1, and then let's watch and see what happens here with our reaction. So while we can't see anything happening with the reaction, right now the iodine and the vitamin C are reacting. And we saw before that nothing happens in terms of a color change. When we added the iodine to the vitamin C, it stayed clear. But once that reaction is over, then the iodine that's left is going to react with the starch, and that's what turns things brown. So we're looking for a color change here as the vitamin C is used up, and the iodine then turns to the starch to react. Oh. And there we go. We have our color change. Very, very cool. That's the iodine clock reaction.